There are so many ways to help your kids and your teens in this evolving and increasingly digital world that we live in. And the three that we're going to be focusing on today at the Holt branch of the Capital Area District Libraries is the mindfulness, encouraging that, but also setting realistic time limits. And then, of course, maybe finding resources and other ways and alternatives to screen time. And here to help navigate with us is Madi from the Capital Area District Libraries. How's it going?
I'm doing well today. Thank you.
Yes, we're excited to dive into some important conversations, but also talk about what we got going on here. But first, we have to talk a little bit about screen time. It's, you know, two words, but it kind of can be defined in so many different ways. Let's kind of define what it is.
Screen time would really be any amount of time that you spend in front of an electronic device, be it a smartphone, a tablet, your desktop, even the time in front of TV.
That's true. Yeah. Anytime we're looking at the screen, which, you know, there are some positives obviously to screen time. Sure. There's so many great resources that we have on there, but what about the mindful screen time? What can we be aware of when it comes to that?
Well, I think especially for children, just being aware of like how you're using it, how much time you're spending on it, what does it make you feel like on the inside? Like, what are you noticing about the effects that it has on you as a child, as a teen, even as an adult?
So just, yeah, being aware is kind of like that first step.
Right. Right.
And what about setting realistic, you know, limits on, or time limits when it comes to screen time? You
know, everyone is going to have their own individual plan for themselves, for their families, but really just looking at, you know, first, you know, maybe doing a little mini audit on your, how much time do you spend on it? What would be realistic for you? If you're, you know, spending 2 to 3 hours a night on it, is it possible to maybe reduce that to 1 hour? Especially at night, I think, because we hear so much about that blue light affecting sleep patterns, you know, really affecting mental health for a lot of children and adults. Absolutely deciding for yourself, like, am I going to leave that phone outside of my bedroom?
Yeah.
Am I going to tell my child, you know what, it's kind of quiet time, we're going to settle down and let's just do some playing or reading aloud.
Yeah, there you go. Starting, you know, making small habits, making a schedule, will ease those limits a little bit better, so it's not as jarring, you know, taking away something completely. But also finding alternative fun ways to fill that time that you would be spending on your screen. And I say fun because you got to talk a little bit about some of those ways that we could spend instead of on our screens.
Sure. You know, we have at our Capital Area District Libraries, we have something called the Library of Things. This is our something called the Crazy Forts. It does come with a little guide so that you could have some ideas, but really you wouldn't even need the guide. Kids are so ingenious and just building things, like taking a look at, like, wow, is this structurally sound? I'm not so sure. Got my favorite book here, one of my favorite books about treecology.
Okay.
Just some activities that families can do together that really don't take much. A little notepad that you have, making observations, walking on our wonderful trails. And I also have songs of the birds. This is amazing because, can you recognize this one?
Ooh! This is what you wake up in the springtime.
Yes. These are sounds I know I've heard walking in Holt. So just being mindful of what's around you. We have the opportunity to go back home, and when we are going to have that screen time, let's do a little research on the birds of Michigan. We can look those things up either through the Michigan Electronic Library. There's lots of great resources for children there through our databases and encyclopedias that are available online, really talking about what you're learning and what you're hearing.
This has been so much fun. I absolutely love it. Of course, kind of just scratching the surface of what everything is offered, not only at this branch, but at all the branches through the Capital Area District Libraries. And you can find more information about some of these resources and the Library of Things all online, and that information is right on your screen. But thank you so much for opening up this world to us.
You're welcome.